Okay, so I just needed to be sure that I am recording this screen as well so that we can have something to fall back on. Okay, so can you see my screen right now? All right, awesome. Okay, so basically here, all right, so how to sell your products to Gen Z in Nigeria. So I'm actually going to personalize this very well to our own country because the way we think, the way we act, and the way we see things are actually different from people of the other countries. Are we together? So the way we see things and take things are different from people of the Western world. We are Africans, we are Nigerians, we are unique in our own culture. All right. So basically, how do we sell real estate to Nigerians in Nigeria, to the Gen Z rather? How do we sell our products to the Gen Z in Nigeria? Understanding how unique this set of persons are in our country and in our era, this particular generation of unique individuals. So basically, this is a webinar that I'm glad that you got to join: AI enhanced digital positioning and prospecting. And in a build up to this, we talked about bridging the gap between the Gen Z and the new technology that is available presently that can help us in targeting, reaching more, and creating unique content to help us live up to this generation's expectations. All right, so we are going straight to the first stage here: the mindset. Okay, so basically, if you are selling to the Gen Z, what should be your most important concern? All right, so basically, the Gen Z are some of the unique individuals in our society presently. All right, they are young people. Their energy, their mind is different. All right, so compared to us who have passed the Gen Z age range, all right, we've got to think beyond emotions. But then we already understand that sales are actually a function of emotions. All right. So basically, comparing sales being a function of emotion and then also trying to sell to a generation that is actually generally empowered by emotions. All right, these generations are actually more emotional than logical. Basically, one of the companies that understand this generation are actually Apple. All right, so what does Apple know about these people? So importantly, they understand that they do not bother about tomorrow. These are people who live in the present. All right, they are people who live for today. They want to just express their emotions for today. So the Gen Z mindset is actually emotions over features. Forget about whatever your land has to offer them, or they are not even after the basic amenities. They are not after the infrastructure surrounding the environment. They are not actually after the location of the property. What they are basically after is, what does owning a property make them feel? All right. How does it make them feel? All right. That's actually what matters to them at that point, not even about the features of the property. So, how does it make them feel? Basically, if you're going to be selling property to the Gen Z, you have to spend time to work on how it makes them feel rather than how much that investment is worth to them. How it makes them feel is more important than how their future has been protected by that property. Forget about trying to sell the features to them. Forget about how to encourage them about how this 1 million naira they are going to be put with you, how 2 million naira they are going to be dropped to you, or 3 million that are going to be investing with you will help them tomorrow. No, they are not interested in that at the moment. At the moment, the way their emotions work, the way their minds work, they are not actually interested in how much this 3 million is going to turn out to make them stable tomorrow. Presently, they are thinking that they have all the superpowers to continuously make money. You have to agree with them. It's not in your position to try to sell a different thing to them. So basically, in sales, you have to sell what your prospect wants, all right, not what you think they need. So basically, the Gen Z being a unique category of individual, you do not have to try so hard to sell what you think is good for them. You have to do everything possible to sell what you know they want. All right, so their want is more important than whatever you think they need. All right, so basically, their primary want is how their emotion, how excited they are emotionally. For instance, you've got to realize that this generation is actually a generation that takes picture at the front of the mirror. Therefore, what separates them from others is the fact that their phone has three cameras and others don't. So that social class separates them. That emotional excitement of feeling among, all right, taking pictures, and then that's why you see that the iPhone that has three cameras are hardly put in the pocket. So it's actually some of the things that Apple have come to understand. So it separates class from the general people. So basically, the primary thing you have to understand when selling to Gen Z is that you have to sell emotions over features. All right. So now, how do we approach selling to the Gen Z in an effective way? So basically, the primary explanation about marketing and sales to the Gen Z is simply neuromarketing. All right. So if you have not learned about neuromarketing, after this class, I want you to spend time to read more about neuromarketing. But I'm going to spend time here as well to explain a few things to you about neuromarketing. All right. So basically, what is neuromarketing? You may want to actually let's start from that very basic. What is neuromarketing? Okay. Some people are actually waiting to be accepted in. I'm not finding anyone. All right. Someone just said accept me in. Okay. Okay. When he joins, I will see that. Okay, so we keep going. So basically, what is neuro marketing? All right. As we may know, basically, neuromarketing is simply the study of how people's brain respond. As a matter of fact, I can basically just categorize it as marketing manipulation. Brain manipulation, simply, yeah, manipulating humans' brain to your advantage. So, according to the definition, simply it is the study of how people's brain respond to advertising and other brand related messages by scientifically monitoring brainwave activities, all right, eye tracking and skin response. These neuro marketing techniques are used to study the brain to predict consumer decision making behavior. So basically, what this means is that it's simply the act of manipulation. All right. So neuromarketing simply explains how human brains is manipulated to your advantage, all right, in your offer, in your advertising. So basically, this has nothing to do with what you think they need. It has nothing to do with you, all right. It has everything to do with who you are actually looking out for. All right, basically, first of all, you understanding how they think, understanding what they want, understanding how they relate to people. All right. So, by the time you've been able to understand these aspects, you can be able to tailor your marketing communication in that way. So, basically, we have different categories of marketing. All right. Neuro marketing is actually one of it. So, basically, in selling to the Gen Z, you have to intentionally be able to handle neuromarketing in an effective way. All right. So, how do you control their brain to respond to your advertising, to your ad? All right. How do you control their brain to respond to your ad? Basically, the Gen Z responding to your ad simply means that you've held them at a point of their expectation. All right. So these people do not think too far. All right. They are those who are actually easily satisfied with the presence. All right. So you will have to hold them to the present mindset they have. All right. So they want to look good. You have to present that to them. And at that particular moment, they want to be at a particular social class. You have to be able to hold them at that. Your message, your advertising message has to relate exactly to what their expectation is. All right. So scientifically, you have to be able to monitor their brainwave. This is actually where artificial intelligence comes in. All right. So it's basically why I said this present generation marketing that we are carrying out in this generation that we are of advantage because we can actually use artificial intelligence to detect how they think. All right. To detect their brain wave and also be able to see how we can control their brains when we are communicating our advertising message to them. All right. So our brands can also be activated based on what we think they also are actually basically thinking. All right. So their eye tracking. All right. So what actually catches their attention on social media? Now, let me explain something to you. These people are some of the most busiest people on earth. They may not be physically busy, but their brain are actually very busy. The Gen Z are actually some of the category of persons that are actually very busy, and they are the most risk-taking individuals on earth at the moment. This set of persons, all right. So these categories of buyers are very unique. So basically, how do you handle this thing? I mean, what activities catches their eyes? How do you track their eye movement on the internet, on the digital space? So basically, one of the primary things you need to understand is that these people are easily captured by entertainment. So it draws us back to important things on the digital space that we are on today. You understand that internet today are made up of social media and search engine. Are we together? All right, so internet today are made up of social media and search engine. So presently, someone is saying he is waiting, and I'm not saying okay. All right, so and presently, you understand that the internet has become increasingly very busy, and one of the things that actually attracts the Gen Z attention is actually entertainment. So basically, we have three basic importance of social media, why people come in there. The primary one is to get entertained. Most people visit social media at their leisure time, to while they wait time, so to get entertained. Most of them get to read about jokes, to just listen, to view jokes. I mean, all these kids that makes them feel good, laugh, and unwind. Some of them come to get information, while some get to connect with like minds, old friends, family, and all the colleagues and all. So basically, these three things must be a basic important consideration when you are trying to sell to Gen Z. So, out of all the basic ones listed there, the primary one that captures the Gen Z's attention are actually entertainment. How are you able to coin out entertainment into your sales communication? So basically, real estate professionals actually think that they cannot integrate entertainment into their marketing communication. You should, as a matter of fact, you can. So it boils down to you thinking about your script. Are you actually creating a 1 minute video? So basically, the script you're going to be using for the 1 minute video should give you an insight right into the expectation of these people. It could be a unique three to, let's just say, the first 15 seconds is actually entertainment, while your message is rightly integrated into the remaining seconds of the 1 minute video that you're going to be sending out. Be more you be more strategic and more and creative when sending out your sales communication. All right, so basically, what are we trying to say? What we are trying to do here is basically giving the Gen Z their own expectation. All right, so now the neuromarketing simply says manipulate this person's brain to your advantage, and this is exactly what works best for the Gen Z. All right, manipulating, it's easy to call it manipulation, but yeah, it's a scientific way of monitoring their brainwave. But those are just basically what we call grammars. They are just big terms. So in essence, it's just about you activating your persuasion strategy to hold their brains to your advantage, thereby manipulating them to accept whatever you are presenting to them. All right, so that's exactly what neuromarketing teaches us on how to sell to Gen Z. But beyond that, we have some elements that are actually directly activated for the Gen Z. All right, when you are trying to sell to the Gen Z. All right, so applying the right elements of sales success with Gen Z. What are the elements? I'm not going to list all. This is a free webinar. I'm not going to list all, but in our broad paid training, we usually expand on this. But today, I'm going to give you the most important one. Basically, the first one is personalize it. All right, personalization is actually what the Gen Z will get caught easily when you are trying to sell to them. Offer personalized experiences and tailored recommendation based on their preferences. Now look at this. As a realtor, the primary thing as a realtor, or let me just basically say as a real estate professional, because some of us are developers, real estate developers. As a real estate professional, one of the things you must understand is that if you are selling to Gen Z, you must make them an integral part of that journey. What do I mean? Selling to them simply means that you want them to be a part of the deal. All right, you want them to be a part of the deal. So basically, what you are trying to do here is that you are not just selling a property to them, you are selling them an offer to make them a part of your company. All right, personalize it with them. So personalization here simply says, I'm not selling you, I'm bringing you in. For instance, if my company is, let's say, MKT Homes. If my company is MKT Homes, what I'm bring when I'm trying to sell to the Gen Z, I'm going to sell an offer, making them an integral part of my brand. Basically, I'm going to drive you into our system as one of those who have invested in our company. All right. I'm not listing you as one of those who bought land from us. I'm listing you as one of those who has stake in our company. Now, these are well known, not shareholders, one of those who have invested in our company's growth, and then basically capture this person on your social media pages. Now, the other category of buyers do not care about this. They don't even want, some of them don't even want their pictures to come up on social media and be displayed there, told that they just bought a property. No. But the Gen Z wants what we call bragging rights. All right. If you are selling to the Gen Z, you have to give them that bragging rights. All right. So on your platform, you have to be able to give them something that they can be able to brag with on their own social media platform as well. All right, so they live for the gram. They live for the gram. So you also have to give them something to live up to. All right, so when you are personalizing your journey with the Gen Z, the primary thing you must let them understand is that they are not just coming to buy your property. They are coming to be an integral part of your company. And this is why before you intend to sell to the Gen Z, you have to be sure that you have created a beautiful digital trust on the digital space. All right, you've been able to give yourself the right visibility that encourages a Gen Z to want to be a part of your brand. All right, because they've seen that, yeah, this particular company, if I buy from them and they personalize my experience with them, I have a bragging right. Imagine me being a part of XYZ Homes, who is already well integrated on the social space, on the digital space. All right. By the time I share their post that talked about me being a part of their company, having bought a piece of their property, it simply means that I am now one of the investors on their property. All right, I can brag about that. I am not a part of you. I'm not in your class. I am one of those who invest in real estate. Even if they bought one piece of land, now they can brag about being real estate investors. Now you have to be able to personalize that and give them that bragging right. So this is one of the primary elements that works for the Gen Z. Personalization, personalize their experience, personalize their buying experience with you. Don't just sell your product, don't just sell your land, don't just sell your building. Bring them in and make them an integral part of your journey, an integral part of your company. All right, give them that bragging rights. If you are selling to other categories of buyers, they don't care about whether you display them. As a matter of fact, they may caution you. These Gen Z do not care about security. That's why you see them display their earnings publicly. That's why you see them display bands publicly. All right, because they want to be sure that they can publicly express their growth. All right, so basically, they want to show their growth, they want to show that they are making it. Yes. So when they buy the bands, it's a sign that they are making it. So when you sell property to them, let them understand that they have something to brag about. They have something that also will optimize their ego. All right, that will make them feel that yes, this also will make people see that they are also making it, not just banks. So, it's actually why you need to see why Apple are able to sell faster. Check out the category of people who are using Apple mostly. All right. So, according to statistics, people who are fascinated about Apple products are between the ages of 18 and 30. All right, people who are fascinated about Apple products. Like, I'm not saying the older generation are not using Apple products, but people who cannot do without Apple products, like they see it as a competition. My class, my category of persons, I must use Apple products. All right, so they can actually use an important phone to buy an Apple product rather than buying an Android. So they see it as a social class. All right. So when you are selling your property, personalizing it to give them that bragging right also is very important. So the second element is simplicity. All right. Simplify the process. These are the laziest set of buyers on the internet. They don't have time to come for inspection. That's one of the things you have to know. These guys do not have the time to come for inspection. All right. So simplify the purchasing journey, the purchasing process. Gen Z values convenience and tends to abandon purchases if the process is complex and time consuming. They are very lazy. Not that, this is why you see that the category of persons that jumped into cryptocurrency were actually the Gen Z, because they found it very easy. They can sit at home easily and then touch one or two buttons and they can trade and make money. And then when they saw the opportunity of enhancing their laziness. Not that they are mentally lazy, no. They are very smart people and their mind is very sharp and busy. But if you're going to be selling properties to them, you must understand that you must simplify the journey, you must simplify the process. This category of individuals are not interested in coming for the inspection, all right? Simplify the journey, make everything easy for them to get to buy. They trust easily. Trust me, this category of persons, they are risk takers. These are people who buy gift cards without even getting to know who is selling the gift card to them. They make payments, and many of them get scammed. And tomorrow they will still locate another one and still will buy the gift card. So they trust very easily. They don't mind paying for the property without seeing it. But the most important thing is that you must be able to hold them at their exact state of mind. All right. These people buy for excitement. You have to be able to hold them at that exciting state. So basically, are you able to showcase people like him or her who are also doing exactly the same thing? All right, showcasing. They can easily come for allocation. They will not come for inspection. All right, so allocation is so that they can showcase that, because they have something to brag about. They can showcase, yeah, your boy just added to his portfolio some properties. All right, so today I just decided to expand my investment portfolio. It's a bragging right. You have to be able to give them that bragging right. So when you are allocating, how are you just doing it the very local way, nothing to, to ginger that particular generation? You have to bring what they call vibes into your process, right? By the time you bring in that vibe to your process, they actually are going to fall in love with your brand. There are also many other brands that are approaching them. So the better you position, the best. Okay, so the third element here is make it exclusive. They don't want to be like everyone else. You know, this is why you see that they prefer the three, because they know that it's not everyone that can afford the three camera phone. So once they are able to get the three camera phone, they feel like they have separated themselves from the average class. All right. Basically, at the moment, while everyone is going this way, they want to move the other way. They just want a separation of class. All right. So they want to be able to feel exclusive. All right, you have to create a sense of class and exclusivity by offering limited edition. All right, so if they are buying that property from you, you have to be able to communicate that this property is actually sold for this set of individuals. It's not for everyone. Your communication has to be able to approach based on that. Basically, you already understand that targeting this set of persons, you can target based on age range, you can target based on behavior, you can target based on interest. All right, and then you can also target based on where they go. All right. So basically, what this means is that when you are approaching your offer to this category of persons, you have to basically package based on their mindset. I had in the past, for those that have joined our training before, I listed four categories of people who buy real estate: the investors, the um, wealth preservers, all right, the future projectors, and the Nigerians in diaspora are the four important categories of those who buy. But these Gen Z are the unique category. They are the unique category. Are we together at all? All right. So create exclusivity into your journey. And then the next thing is bring in their kind. All right. You know, if you have studied what some of your top real estate professionals are doing at the moment, you may not be able to afford influencer marketing the way you think, like signing up a brand ambassador to your company. You may not be able to afford that at the moment, but one of the things you can do is that you can approach an influencer that is in the category of this Gen Z and request for a live session. All right, let him or her schedule for a live session on Instagram or on TikTok. Basically, depending. So I would recommend Instagram. Schedule for a live session on Instagram, and based on her influence, all right, the Gen Z will actually gather to join the live session. So you can actually target the Gen Z investments broadcasts. All right, the Gen Z investment broadcast, and then it's hosted by their favorites, one of the influencers that they like, and then you are just paying the influencer for the session, for the influencer to host a session with you. All right, it's just going to last maybe 1 hour session, and then in the session you are coming up to talk about investment opportunities for Gen Z. And then you always have to understand that the Gen Z don't think investment that much. So how you are going to approach it is that from the first element I had listed, merge it together before you present the offer. All right. So basically, these people most of them actually have the resources to buy the product. So they can actually you need to do something. So basically, their bragging right is in showcasing on that live session. Ask a direct question. How many people are willing to separate themselves from the average? You know, when you place your content in a way that separates them on that live, they want to come up to show others in the live that, yeah, they said the land is 3 million. I have it. They just want to indicate right in the live. How many people are willing to key into this immediately? Drop your contact information, and then we have to reach you immediately. So they want to, whether some of them, some people that can't even afford will want to drop. This is how the Gen Z think. They want to be seen as some of the people who are actually doing well. This is why some of them are actually living a very fake life, all right? Because they actually are following influencers. They are following um the entertainers. What do they call them? Celebrities. Yeah, they want to also live celebrity lifestyle. All right, so basically, you, by the time the session is over, you should be able to capture at least 3 to 5 quality Gen Z who are able to invest in your properties. But your content, your offer, and your approach has to be in line with their mindset. You have to be able to synchronize their thought pattern with yours. All right, you have to be able to think in the same, at the same thought frequency with them, based on what I've shared with you so far. Forget about what you think they'll need. Go with what they want. All right, give a space, interact, let them share in the comment section, pick up from the comment section and relate with them. So work with their kind. All right, this is actually why one of the recent estate real estate company signed up AY as their brand ambassador. Like I said, you may not be able to afford to sign up people like that as your brand ambassador. So that already had taken care of the comedy industry. All right. So, but then just look out for an influencer that this generation, like the Generation Z, like so much. All right. And then go on a live session with them, even when you cannot afford to sign them up as an ambassador. All right. Go on a live session with them, and you can get to do it maybe once every month. Just have a budget for influencer marketing. Once every month, you choose their favorite and go on a live session with them. All right, and this automatically creates a bond between you, between your company, between your brand and this particular category of persons. There is a particular real estate professional, is a developer who understands this, and he does it very effectively. All right, it helps you to bridge the gap between the Generation Z and your brand. All right, they get to see reasons why they should buy, even when they don't even see reason, but because you have identified with their kind. All right, and their kind has put out a word. He or she could say he had just gotten her own allocated property in that same estate, and then this estate promises to separate this category of persons. If you intend to be a bowling person in the next 5 years, living in an estate that is quiet, serene, with this kind of thing, with this kind of a thing. So basically, you are separating class. All right, you should not spend that 2.5 million, you should not spend that 3 million wastefully at the moment. I just got mine, but well, this is how we are going to do it. We want to live as young people in that estate. This estate is created basically for the Gen Z. All right, so if you get this property today, it means that we are now two. If another person gets, we are now three. So basically, we can form a Gen Z club when we get into that estate. So basically, what we are just sending out is exactly what they want to hear. These people do not want to mingle with the older ones. They want that freedom. They want to see their kind in the estate. If they get to buy that property and they get to build in that estate, if they get to live in that estate, what are the category of persons that they are going to meet in that estate? Now, these are the things that influence their decision. Are they also going to be in the country? Some of them do not even think of being in Nigeria. But then, how are you able to handle that particular gap that has already been created? Because as you are saying, they are going to live there in the next 5 years, they are going to quickly think out. 5 years. Who will be in Nigeria in 5 years? I'm not here. I don't belong here. So before they think of that, are you able to equally capture that and then give a bridged conversation around that? That's actually the neuromarketing talked about that. Thinking about, I mean, identifying what their brain is actually thinking about and also communicating it before they even voice it. So apparently it will place you in a way that it shows that you know them better. All right. So working with their kind is actually the last category, the last element I'm going to be sharing with you on this particular journey in about selling with the Gen Z. But let me share a particular strategy that some companies that you may know have used in the past. And basically, probably you've not taken notice of some of those particular company. So basically, what they do is creating separation. All right, separation of offers. Basically, the Gen Z don't buy what every other person is buying. All right. The Gen Z don't drive what every other person is driving. The Gen Z would rather trek until he's able to afford Benz rather than buying Toyota Corolla. Of course, they can even talk down on a Toyota Corolla. At most, they will call it Uber. All right. So these people have a mindset. This is actually what happens when you are actually trying to sell to them. The primary thing you understand is separation of class. So this is what the likes of Mercedes Benz, the likes of Apple do every time they are creating their offer. You see, there is Apple 15 that is being rumored to be out. All right. So the first thing they do is not to sell the features. The first thing they do in Apple is not selling features at all. The first thing Apple do is actually creating complex complexity rather in their mind. All right. They handle esteem. Apple first of all handle esteem. All right. The same thing with Mercedes Benz. Now imagine a Gen Z pulling off with 190 Benz 190. It's still Mercedes Benz 190. Now what they do basically is not changing the engine. What they do is not changing the um things that make the system function. What they change is the carcass, all right, the design. That's what they change. Now, what it means is that these people are visually empowered. All right, they are easily captured by visuals. So when you are selling to the Gen Z, your visual communication is more important than the features of your property. All right, your video creative, your image creative is more important than the features of your property. All right, how you communicate is more important than the features of your property. All right, this is exactly what GT Bank understood when they brought in the Gen Z after the USSD was introduced into the banking sector. All right, Face Bank introduced USSD into the banking sector, but GT Bank understood the the generation that will actually drive the force of that particular product in the banking sector, and they went deep into it by activating exactly what they think and knew was going to be more important. All right, so basically what am I trying to say? What they understood there was simple. These people are going to sing along when we bring up a particular song promoting USSD. And then they went for an artist that they love to come and sing for the USSD. And then he became a brand ambassador for that particular bank and then amplifying the noise about USSD. And then the adoption started from the Gen Z, and the Gen Z ended up being the mouthpiece of the marketing campaign for GT Bank to their parents. All right, now the older generation started adopting because the Gen Z always had to remind them that you don't need to go to the bank because I'm in school, I need money, and the father will say it's weekend. Let it be on Monday. No, that you don't have to go to the bank. GT Bank has USSD. And then at the point, those who didn't have GT Bank account started opening GT Bank account. And then GT also saw something important. It was pertinent that those who didn't have the account can easily open the account. Now, the Gen Z convenience, simplicity, making it easy for them to access you. They started social media account opening strategy, all right, with your completion of form on social media without even leaving Facebook. You can fill a form and then open an account with GTBank, but it was a lie. Before your account can be activated, you have to visit the bank. But the strategy worked because by the time you had completed the form, they have your data, your most important asset, data. And then, having gotten your data, it's left for them to do the right follow up. You already know closing happens after data has been gotten. You cannot close without the data. All right. That's why I say data becomes the most important asset when it comes to your marketing effort. By the time you've gotten data, you are sure of 80% closer to closing that particular client. All right. So what they did was before you can access your account, you can just stop by any of our branch and activate it. Go with your passport. And it became easy. You just get there, activate, submit your passport, and your account becomes active. And also they amplify the voice to their parents, and their parent adopted it, and it became widely accepted. So how GT Bank became the most populated bank in Nigeria began from the Gen Z USSD integration into the banking sector. All right. And the people that introduced that particular integration into the banking sector were left behind. So this is it. When you are selling to this set of individuals, you have to actually be very careful that you don't get to be left behind in the long run. All right. So you don't get to be left behind in the long run. You have to be able to intentionally handle that with them. Are we still together? Okay. So basically, how do we use artificial intelligence to identify what they think, how they think, and what interests them, how they behave on the internet, and how where they can be found? This is where artificial intelligence comes in. How many of us are aware of how many of us are aware of OpenAI? Please unmute and talk to me. How many of us are aware of OpenAI? Sorry? Chat GPT, OpenAI. Okay, so basically, OpenAI simply is the tool that is powering the Chat GPT. Chat GPT is actually owned by a company called OpenAI, kind of. All right, so an integral part of they now have an affiliation with Bing and Microsoft. All right, so I think I just recently heard that Elon Musk has a stake with them as well. So that simply means that they are rightly affiliated. So basically, OpenAI is not the most important thing that I'm going to be showing you here. The most important thing I'm going to be showing you here is an integration with OpenAI. Are we together? Any questions so far? Any questions so far before we roll? All right. So basically, if I go to chatgpt.openai.com, chatgpt.openai.com. Are we together? Okay. Now, this is it. You probably may not see this on your own journey. You probably may not see this on your own journey, but this is what I'm trying to establish for us here. Um, does this show on your own chat GPT account? Okay, talk to me. Who has opened chat GPT and has seen that particular page before? Okay, let me not assume. Let's go. Now, for you to normally, if you do not have an add-on integration with your Google Chrome, you may not have your interface looking this way. Um, Basically, we have showing 1 to 12 of 30 of 3,408 prompts. So there are so many prompts that you can keep showing. You can see next here, and then you can also see up to 20 prompts per page. You can see up to 20 prompts. All right. So now, human written 100% unique ACO optimized article, mid journey prompt generator. Okay, keep scrolling down. Fully SEO optimized article including FAQs, buyer personnel, buyer personnel legend. Now this is it. This is the one that generates detailed user personals for business with data neatly organized into a table. Are you with me? All right. So basically here, if you click on this, it will give you option here. Look at it. Look at what is showing here. English, UK. You can actually change this. But then we actually speak UK English. And then default tone. You can have it an emotional tone. All right. Now, if you ask ChatGPT to help you identify, to tell you behaviors of Gen Z in Nigeria. Facebook. So this is not a planned. Most times, some of your, now look at this. Some of your prompts may not be right. Are you with me? So you may have to keep prompting. So apparently, this is a full course. Chat GPT course, AI, artificial intelligence course is a complete course that I take for about 5 good hours in our paid sessions. All right, so look at this. He's trying to give us some of the Gen Z behaviors. Now, I can actually prompt to get their spending ability. All right, Chat GPT can actually identify their buying capacity on the internet. All right, but then for you to be able to prompt as many as possible, I'm only going to show you three important things for you to be able to prompt as many as possible, as many times as possible, and to prompt different keyword. Limited budget due to dependency on parents, financial support, regularly shops for trendy clothing and accessories, occasionally buys tech gadgets. Now, ChatGPT is actually telling you what these people are fascinated about. You can see trending clothes and gadgets. Those are the things that fascinates this category of individuals. All right. But then pushing downward here, I want you to install, for you to be able to prompt as many as different prompt as possible. I want you to install this particular add-on called AIPRM. AIPRM. Are you with me? So go to your extension, your Chrome extension, all right, and type, what is that? Chrome extension. We have 5 minutes more or less. All right, now look at AI. What did I call it? AIPRM. AIPRM for Chat GPT. All right, look at this. I have it already installed. So if I didn't have it installed, you would have seen install now. So what you need to do is just to click and install this. Install this on your Chat GPT. Once you click this to install on your Chrome, all right, after installing it on your Chrome, it will automatically link it up, sign up to your Chat GPT account. It will automatically link it up with your Chat GPT, and then it will be showing just as you've seen here on my account. And then you can go ahead and prompt as many as possible. If I click on new prompt here, it can bring me back for me to select as many prompts as possible. If you are writing daily content and you are disturbed about how to get daily content for your real estate, I've told you to stop being a motivational speaker. For instance, let me say I'm writing content for my real estate. Write about documents to verify before investing in real estate. All right. And then you can see investing in real estate demands careful consideration and due diligence before embarking on such a significant financial venture. It is crucial. All right. So basically, this will give you all the necessary, you can see title deeds, property survey. It's giving you you can keep prompting. You can keep prompting this. So now we are having a paid session for AI enhanced digital prospecting and positioning for real estate professionals on the last day of this month. Is going to be virtual and it's going to last for about 5 hours. All right, it's going to last for about 5 hours. If you are going to attend that training, what you need to do is just to send a message indication on WhatsApp after this training. All right, so basically you can do a whole lot with your artificial intelligence after you've installed your AIPRM right here. And I want you to be a part of the paid training so you can get to discover lot of prompts, lot of tools that will enhance all this. All right, yeah, are we together? All right, so we're going to be having this paid session, and for the 7 people that connected with us tonight, we're going to be giving you a good consideration before this call is disconnected. All right.